Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going over the winners of the BAFTA awards. The BAFTAs every single year. I think there was one year where I got it to work and it was totally fine. But then every other year, for the last 7 years since I've been involved in paying attention to like the Oscars and all the precursors and stuff, I think half the time or majority of the time it's not televised live, and then half the time it's like streaming on like BBC or something. But then when I try and sign in, I can't like get it to stream live, even like when I have like the sign in and everything. So I always have issues watching the BAFTAs live. So I decided what I was going to do was I put my phone away and I went and watched Avatar in theater. So I knew I was locked away for 3.5 hours and didn't have access to my phone. So I knew that by the time I got home, this would all be the awards would be over. We'd have the results, and I could just kind of go on their website and do a reaction to it. So I'm on the BAFTA website. I've scrolled all the way to the bottom. So looks like the first category here at the bottom is supporting actress, which makes me think that maybe this is going to be in the order of how they were announced during the broadcast, which is pretty cool. Supporting actress. So remember, this is Amy Madigan isn't nominated here. So I think this is a toss-up. Really, I think Tiana Taylor is the overwhelming favorite, but then I would say that I think Inge Ipsdottir actually has not a great chance, but like an okay chance. So, and then like third, I'd put Wunmi Mosaku as just kind of like the long shot, but don't see that happening. So let's see here. It is Wunmi Mosaku. Okay, what is Sinners about to do here at BAFTAs? How much is it gonna win? So Odessa Zion, Carey Mulligan, Emily Watson. I wasn't expecting anything from any of those, but Tiana Taylor loses. So that means, okay, we've got chaos in this category, which is awesome. I love when we have chaos. Tiana Taylor won the Golden Globe. Amy Madigan won the Critics' Choice, and Wunmi Mosaku has now won the BAFTA. Oh, I was going to say I was really hoping for Inge Ipsdottir to win SAG next week, or the actor next week, but she's not nominated. So pretty much one of those three is going to win SAG, and then it's going to be whichever one of those is going to have two prizes. That's crazy. Wunmi Mosaku, that is awesome. Okay, supporting actor. This is... I don't know. I would guess Stellan Skarsgård is probably the favorite. Or Paul Mescal. Actually, that would be a lot of... I could see Paul Mescal, because he's not nominated at the Oscar, it would be fun to see him win. I think I might go Paul Mescal. I also should mention I forgot to make any official predictions last night before I went to bed, so I don't have anything. Can't really check anything on Gold Globe or the award expert to see how I did. But I would say either Paul Mescal or Stellan Skarsgård. Jacob Elordi is like a maybe. The One Battle After Another boys, Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn. Again, Sean Penn was who I was like have been predicting all the way up into this point, but it's just not happening for Sean Penn. I do think that if it does start happening for Sean Penn, this would maybe be where it starts. But I would probably say that it's either Stellan Skarsgård or Paul Mescal, a little bit Jacob Elordi. So let's see for supporting actor. It is Sean Penn. So that means we've got both supporting acting categories are chaos, because now that means that Jacob Elordi won Critics' Choice, Stellan Skarsgård won... oh, wait a second. Yeah, so Jacob Elordi won Critics' Choice, Stellan Skarsgård won Golden Globe, Sean Penn has won BAFTA, and Benicio del Toro was winning everything, like all the other like states and cities critic groups leading up to this. So it's like all four of them feel like they're pretty in it. I love having two chaos categories in the acting. So it seems like both the lead categories are kind of wrapped up. So it's awesome having chaos here. Next up is visual effects. This is going to be Avatar. Yep, winner is Avatar. It beat out F1 and The Lost Bus, that are both nominated at the Oscar. How to Train Your Dragon and Frankenstein aren't. Yeah, Frankenstein isn't nominated there. So, I mean, that's an obvious Avatar. Sound, I would assume F1. I don't remember all of the nominees, but I would assume F1. Yep, F1 is the winner. Frankenstein, One Battle, Sinners, Warfare. So beating out Sinners in one battle is pretty good. But F1, I think sound is its category that it's going to just kind of dominate all the way. Production design, I would guess that this is probably Frankenstein, but let's see. It is Frankenstein. I think Frankenstein is going to win a lot of the like production, the designs, like production design, costume design, makeup and hair, like those. It's kind of what I'm expecting for Frankenstein. It seems like it's going to be this year's kind of big tech player. So that makes sense for it to win production design. Outstanding debut by a British writer, director, or producer. I'm not familiar with any of these, so let's just click it open and see. So it's My Father's Shadow is the winner. That beat out. I haven't heard of the ceremony, but Pilion. I had, that was in theaters recently. I didn't find the time to go out and see it, but that would have probably been my, if I made a predictions last night, that would have been my prediction. I haven't heard of The Father's Shadow, but good for. Oh, I'm trying to read this, but it's like really small. Akinola Davies Jr. and Whale Davies. Good for them. Outstanding British film. Again, I don't remember all the nominees. This is the one where there's like 10 nominees, right? In Outstanding British Film. I think Hamnet is one of the nominees, and it's in Best Film as well, so I'd assume it's going to Hamnet. Yep, Hamnet is the winner. Because, yeah, the other nominees, 28 Years Later, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, Die My Love, H is for Hawk, I think. Yep, H is for Hawk, I Swear, Mr. Burton, Pillion, and Steve. So, yeah, like, that felt pretty obvious for Hamnet. Next category we've got is Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema. This was just kind of like an honorary award, right? Claire Binns is the only nominee, so she is the winner. Original Screenplay. I'm trying to remember what's nominated here. Like Sinners, I think, is the front runner right at like the Oscars, but I don't remember what else was in this category. I think Marty Supreme is in the category, but I don't think that would win. Yeah, I would just assume it's Sinners. Yep, Sinners is the winner. Over I Swear, Marty Supreme, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value. So both the international films going to Sinners. Original Score is next. I assume that's another Sinners. So that's 3 awards, right? Because it's got Wumi Masaku, it's got Screenplay, and it's got Score. This beat out Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, which is the Oscar 5. So Sinners has it's won everything. It's winning all the precursors. It's going to sweep. Which It's interesting looking at it. I'm doing my category breakdown videos. I'm starting to get them all kind of prepped and ready to start recording and uploading them pretty rapidly once I do. And so I was doing that last night, and it's interesting. I think I kind of knew it, but I didn't fully realize it until I was writing it, that Ludwig Göransson, after he wins this year, he's going to be 3 for 3 in the best score category. Like, if he gets nominated in best score, he wins. So he's going to be 3 for 3, and then he's probably going to be 0 for 2 in the best original song category. So he can write the score, but when he gets into the song category, he's not winning, because he lost for Lift Me Up. Is that what it was called? The Rihanna song from Wakanda Forever, and then probably going to lose. I Lied to You is probably going to lose, but anyway, that's not what this video is. We'll talk about that in the category breakdown videos. Makeup and hair, assume that's going to be Frankenstein again. Frankenstein. Oh yeah, Wicked for Good. I forgot that actually got some nominations at BAFTA. But yeah, Frankenstein was the obvious winner there. Leading actress, Jessie Buckley. Yep, Jessie Buckley, over Rose Byrne, Kate Hudson, Chase Infinity, Renana Ryan's Fun, Emma Stone. This is fun because this is like so clearly the top 6. And pretty much every precursor that had 6 instead of 5, this is what they did, and suddenly the Oscars had to just make the final cut between Kate Hudson and Chase Infinity. So this is all the confirmation you like. It's Jessie Buckley running all the way. Leading actor, Timothy Chalamet. I think because Wagner Moore is not nominated here, he wasn't shortlisted. I think Leo. This is like if he can win here, there's like a chance, but I don't think it's just going to be Timmy. And it is Robert Aramayo for I Swear. I thought that was going to get like nominated. I remember predicting him for the nomination. I did not think of him as winning. Look at this list that he just beat. He beat Timothy Chalamet, beat Leonardo DiCaprio, beat Ethan Hawke, beat Michael B. Jordan, beat Jesse Plemons, which is the Oscar 5. I mean, pretty much was the top 6, because if you put in Wagner Moura over Jesse Plemons, that was like the top 6 of the Oscars. Robert Aramayo for I Swear. Does that change how I feel about Timothy Chalamet at the Oscar? Probably not. I don't think so. Man, because let's look at it this way. So Timothy, if he just wins Globe and Critics' Choice, loses BAFTA, and then let's say hypothetically he loses SAG next week to Leo, because I mean he won SAG last year, right? When's the last time an actor has won their category 2 years in a row at, like, at any award show, let alone SAG? Like, is that going to be? I don't know if that's how SAG, the actors, if that's how they think, if they're going to be more likely to lean Leo because they're like, oh, we just gave it to Timothy Chalamet last year. If that's going to, like, influence anything, and then even if that is the thought process there, does that then influence at the Oscar? Robert Aramayo, that is such a wrench in this. I think I still would probably pick Timothy, but it gets real dicey if he can't win. It's kind of weird to think that, like, Leo didn't win here either, but it's like you look at this and, like, that win's good for Leo because it's just because it's bad for whoever the front runner is. Does this also create some sort of world where now Wagner Moura is back more strong, even though he's not even nominated here? All of a sudden he gets kind of a boost. That's crazy. Robert Aramayo, I did not expect that at all. Um, Film not in the English language. It's between Secret Agent and Sentimental Value. Secret Agent has been winning everything. It won Globe and it won Critics' Choice. Wagner Moura won actor at Globe. Like, it has. I feel like it has. Well, it had more of the momentum until the Oscars, when all of a sudden Sentimental Value got nominated for 9 awards. And it's the thing that's so crazy about Sentimental Value's 9 nominations is it's like 9 above the lines. Like, it's for acting, picture, director, editing, international, casting, right? So it's like 9 of the top prizes that it was eligible for. So I'm gonna say that the Secret Agent had nice momentum up to this point, but based on all the Oscar nominations and then based on this, I think this is where it's going to flip to Sentimental Value. Film not in the English language, it is Sentimental Value. This is also a 5 for 5 with the Oscars. With It Was Just an Accident, Secret Agent, Surratt, and the voice of Finn Rajab. So that's fun. That's good for Sentimental Value to finally get on the board after the Secret Agent had been kind of winning everything. I don't know what this is. Fellowship. Dame Donna Langley. Non-competitive. It's just an honorary fellowship Oscar. So that's cool. Next up, we've got the EE Rising Star Award. Was it Robert Aramayo, or was it someone else from I Swear that was in this category? Someone in this was in this, because I remember it was like them and Chase Infinity, but it's like they always give it to a British actor, so I think it's Robert Aramayo. It is Robert Aramayo. Miles Caton, Chase Infinity, Archie Madekwe, and Posey Sterling. I don't know who those two are off the top of my head. But yeah, like, it was pretty easily going to be a Robert Aramayo, especially considering he just won Best Actor. Okay, editing. I think this is between F1 and Sinners? One Battle After Another is probably in there. I can't remember what else is nominated. Let's see. One Battle After Another is the winner. I definitely would have leaned F1 over One Battle After Another. So that's a good win. That's a good get there. House of Dynamite. That's right. That was nominated here. And Marty Supreme is the other editing. I'm now just realizing I said at the beginning I thought that this was in, like, the order that they were revealed. It looks like it's actually in alphabetical order, because we've gone from editing, now we've got documentary. I don't remember what was nominated here. I think The Perfect Stranger is. I guess that would be my pick. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what else. I do remember that BAFTA, their documentary category, is, like, closer to what the people were predicting for the Oscar, but then the Oscars kind of went crazy. So let's see, documentary. It's Mr. Nobody Against Putin. So yeah, this was Mr. Nobody Against Putin, 2,000 Meters to Andrivka, Apocalypse in the Tropics, Cover Up, and The Perfect Neighbor. So, like, that's what people were predicting for the Oscar, and I think only 3 of those, or 2 of them, I think it's just Perfect Neighbor and Mr. Nobody Against Putin were the only 2 that got nominated at the Oscars. So that's good. That's a good win for Mr. Nobody Against Putin. That probably makes it a pretty strong front runner going forward at the Oscars. Director, I can't imagine this is anyone but Paul Thomas Anderson. It is Paul Thomas Anderson. This was also with Coogler, Safdie, Trier, and Zhao, and Anderson. This was the top 5 at the Oscars plus, or I shouldn't say the top 5, the 5 at the Oscars plus Yorgos Lanthimos. So pretty easy for director. Costume design, again, I think it's Frankenstein. I think it's going to win kind of all of these techs. Yep, Frankenstein over Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sinners, and Wicked for Good again. Forget it got multiple nominations. Cinematography, I would guess that this is probably going to Sinners after the role that it was on. It got a couple wins early. I think cinematography goes to Sinners unless I'm forgetting something. I think Sinners. One Battle After Another. Okay, so One Battle After Another over Frankenstein, over Marty Supreme, over Sinners, and Train Dreams. That was the real. That's probably what I would have. Because I kind of am getting the feeling this year at the Oscars there's some years where it's like the Everything Everywhere All at Once or the Oppenheimer years where it's just like they don't care. They're awarding the films that they love. They're like those are getting all the wins. Then there's some years. I remember the first year I was really big into the Oscars was the 2020 year for the 2019 movies, and that year it felt like it was such a coordinated effort to like get everything. All the Best Picture winner nominees get something. Little Women gets out with costume. Jojo Rabbit got screenplay. Parasite obviously won its for. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood got supporting actor. Marriage Story got supporting actress. Like I think like the Ford v Ferrari got like sound and editing or something. I think like The Irishman was the only one that didn't come away with a win essentially from that Best Picture lineup, which is crazy. I kind of was feeling like this felt like one of those years where it feels like everything's got something. It's going to get something. And this is really the only spot for Train Dreams because it's not getting picture and it's not getting song and it's not getting. What is the fourth thing that it's nominated for? Maybe it only has the 3 nominations. I thought it was 4, but I can't think of what its fourth one would be. That's crazy. I can't think of what Train Dreams' fourth nomination is off the top of my head. But yeah, this would have been the spot for Train Dreams. So that is kind of crazy, actually. One Battle After Another over both Sinners and Train Dreams. Children's and family film. This is different than animated. The winner on this is Boing. Boong. It won over Arco, Lilo and Stitch, and Zootropolis 2. So I'm not sure. Obviously, it's a British film, but I don't think I've heard of it. Casting. This is tough because no casting at BAFTAs. I usually am pretty good at predicting the winner on this one because I've noticed the trend, especially I feel like it's male leads. So Joaquin Phoenix, when he was in Joker, they gave it to Joker. Austin Butler in Elvis, they gave it to Elvis. It's like when a film nails its male lead, I feel like that's typically BAFTA does that for casting. If it was for the Oscar, I don't know how the Oscar is going to vote for the category. So hopefully, whatever wins here, I think is a strong indication of what is going to win at the Oscar, or gives us kind of that direction. Part of me thinks Marty Supreme. I can't remember if it's nominated, but part of me would say Marty Supreme because of the nailing the Timothée Chalamet casting. But then Timothée Chalamet just didn't win actor, so I don't know actually. Oh, let's see. I swear. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because, like I was just saying, it clearly nailed the lead actor and that gets it the win. But that is no help. It beat out Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners, who were all nominated at the Oscar. No. Sentimental Value didn't get casting, right? Because Secret Agent got casting, and Hamnet is in there at casting at the Oscar. So yeah, this does not help. I swear, does not help us. Alright, well, let's just move on from that. British short film. Don't know any of these. This is endometriosis. That's probably a common word that I just don't know how to pronounce. Endometriosis. Congrats to them. Not sure what that is. British short animation, same thing. Two Black Boys in Paradise is the winner. Good for them. And then best film up top. I would have said Sinners, because it got off to a hot start from what I was reacting to, but it clearly kind of fell off here a little bit. I think I'll just stick with One Battle After Another. That's what I would have predicted coming into this. And it is One Battle After Another. Oh, okay. And then we still got obviously got animated film. This would have been Zootopia, and Zootropolis 2 is the winner. This is interesting because for me, I thought that it was going to be more of a race this entire time between Zootopia and uh, K-pop Demon Hunters. Now, obviously, K-pop Demon Hunters was ineligible here, so I kind of don't want to hold it against the film, but at the same time, just getting a win for Zootopia is enough for me to like kind of put them in like dark horse consideration and just say, okay, they're kind of in like second. They're clearly the strong second place team, and if there is an upset, it would be Zootopia, but that would be a long shot. And then we've got adapted screenplay, one battle after another, right? It just one picture. It has to win adapted screenplay. Yep, one battle, one over. There was only Begonia and Hamnet are the only other two that are at the Oscars that are in this category. It beat both of them, and then it was the Ballad of Wallace Island and Pillion were the other two. So I think that's the last category, right? Adapted screenplay. Yeah. So those are the results. Those are the winners for the BAFTAs. That is kind of crazy. The BAFTAs typically they go one of two ways. I feel like every year where they do this, where it's kind of crazy with all their wins, or the other path they go is they kind of confirm things, or they become like the stable, like where in years where it's like, oh, you don't know what's going on, like you can lean to the BAFTA, and like that's most likely the strongest precursor. But with how kind of out there they were with a couple of these, I don't know if you can say that they were absolutely like the strongest precursor this year. It's going to be real interesting. I'm going to again following this on the channel, there's going to be more the category breakdown videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to take all of this into consideration when I go into those videos. So when we do all of those, I will be considering the results here of BAFTA in those, and then I'll get a couple of those, a good chunk of them uploaded within this next week or so before we have the SAG results. But I guess the actors, all that really is obviously just the acting prizes, and I guess casting is kind of involved there as well. But yeah, so I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to factor those into those videos, and that's it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the BAFTA award winners, and also if you'd like to like this video and then subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future episodes in my awards content, especially those category breakdown videos which are coming this week. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.